About 4 weeks after Hurricane Maria, it is still a desperate situation for many people here in Puerto Rico. The vast majority of the island, more than 80%, is still without power.
If we are not considered in equal terms to Florida, Texas, Virgin Islands, and so forth, then you stand to be looking at a potential humanitarian crisis.
I think we did a fantastic job, and we're being given credit. I think our response was better than anyone has ever seen.
Joining me now, Democratic Representative Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, whose family hails from Puerto Rico and who joins me from San Juan. First, Congressman, what is the situation like there right now?
Desperation. I met with people all day today. I would say there's a general sense of almost mourning when it comes to the sadness that is felt. The kind of mourning, you know, because you've lost your home, you've lost your way of life, and you don't see it coming back into the picture anytime soon. The kind of mourning that comes like you can't feed your children, and that, yeah, there's water, but you got to go in a hose outside to bathe in, and there's no electricity, and the food is just really not there. People are thirsty and want more water. And I want to thank the people of Chicago. We went, you know, I'm going to say it, we went to Sam's Club. We bought all the great stuff we could buy, the juices and just everything we could buy, and we took it to Loíza, one town. Tens of thousands of food straight from the counter to the people there. And now they have juices and fruit, and hopefully we'll bring them a little bit of hope as we evaluate. But I just got to say to you, think about it. I didn't walk into a home, and I walked into dozens of homes. There are no mattresses. I saw a quadriplegic young man on a wet mattress. That is unacceptable. You would not find that in Houston. You would not find that in Chicago. You would not find that in Jacksonville 1 month after. But that is the situation people live in here. I saw people with, why aren't the tarps out there so that at least people could protect themselves a little bit better? I mean, look, I went to Loíza, and just so that you understand, 498 homes were flattened. I saw many of them. 3,000 homes are uninhabitable. Where are those people going? Where are they? They're with a neighbor, they're with a friend, they're in a shelter. That's unacceptable after 4 weeks. It's really sad. I saw a lot of sadness and despair.
Do you feel like you have an understanding? It seems the two biggest obstacles to anything like normalcy is power restoration and clean water. Those really, if you look at the numbers that have been provided by the federal government or the Puerto Rican government, it's kind of flatlined over 2 weeks. I mean, it's not getting better. Do you feel like you have an understanding of what the obstacles are to getting power back, to getting everyone clean water, and how that can be overcome?
Yeah, taking the greatest, most powerful, richest nation in the world and acting like it, and bringing the resources to bear on this island. Look, we can do this. You're telling me we can't set up the tents, we can't set up the mobile homes, we can't, even just a cot. I mean, why do people have to sleep on the floor, cement floors, in all of these homes that I visited today? There are no mattresses. All you have to do is take a ride in your car. Don't even enter the home. Just look at the debris that is outside, and that's where you see the sofas, that's where you see the couches, that's where you see all the things that make up a home. Look, we can do this. We just don't want to do it for some reason. We just haven't found ourselves capable of bringing to bear all of the riches that we have as a nation. It's just something that shouldn't be happening. Let's not treat Puerto Rico the way we're treating it, and let's not treat the people of Puerto Rico, especially when we have so much. So everybody tonight that's got electricity, everybody that's got running water, and you know your kids are going to school tomorrow, and your car's gonna start, and there's gasoline, and there's normalcy to your life. Yeah. Remember, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that don't have that stuff here in Puerto Rico. And I would say, lastly, I want to say, why aren't we taking people out of harm's way? Look, Tens of thousands of Puerto Ricans have been flown off of this island to go to Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, World War I, Korea. Tens of thousands. Why can't we fly tens of thousands of them to safe places until we can put them back on this island? There's electricity. I don't know why we're not doing it.
That is a question that is a very good question to ask and remains unanswered at this hour. Congressman Luis Gutierrez, thank you for being with me tonight.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.